Democratic Party meltdown and Pam Bondi threatens free speech. It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 today, Charlie Kirk. I had no idea when I opened yesterday's program by discussing Candace Owens' recent insinuation that the government of Israel was responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk that I was opening a can of worms. The pushback was rather surprising. Apparently, a lot of people want to believe the theory that Candace put forward. This is that based on a meeting that took place in the Hamptons in August, at which Charlie was allegedly bullied by wealthy Jewish money men and allegedly offered $150 million by Benjamin Netanyahu himself to use Turning Point USA to become a more pro-Israel mouthpiece, money that Charlie reportedly turned down, except that the people involved in the meeting, the money man, hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, and Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA staff, who were with him, they say, every minute of the event, except when he was in his hotel room, say that these things didn't happen, that Charlie's meetings with Ackman were cordial, no bullying took place, no offer of $150 million from Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu had offered a trip to Israel, which Charlie turned down, mainly because his schedule was focused on events here in the United States and promoting his America First vision for Turning Point USA. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, Bill Ackman went so far as to call Candace Owens' characterization of the meeting slanderous. Now, did Charlie feel pressure to deplatform voices like Tucker Carlson and alleged comedian Dave Smith, who've been very critical of Israel and the way they're prosecuting the war in Gaza? Yes, he admitted that he did in an interview with Megyn Kelly. But if I had been asked, and obviously, nobody did, but if I'd been asked, I would have cautioned Charlie about having Tucker and Dave Smith on as well. Not because they're not entitled to express their opinions about Israel, but because the opinions that they're expressing are uninformed or deliberately disingenuous. Tucker Carlson knows better than to say some of the things he said, like Hamas is just a political organization and they're not a terrorist group. Really, a political organization that crosses the border into another country, essentially, kills 1,200 citizens, kidnaps 250 others. What kind of political party are we talking about here, Tucker? So, yes, I would have had some caution, advised caution to Charlie Kirk about deplatforming Carlson and Smith. But here's the thing. Even with all of this, even if it were all true, that's still a long way from anything that looks like evidence of complicity in the death of Charlie Kirk. And there are people out there who are now running with it as though it's an established fact. Come on, we as Christians should know better. We are commanded in Scripture not to bear false witness. Oh, but Mossad is evil. Intelligence agencies worldwide, including the CIA, MI6, do bad things. Yes, Mossad as well. Does not put them in Utah at the time of the event, at the time of the crime. This entire theory is based on nothing but the fevered imaginations of those who want reasons to hate Benjamin Netanyahu and to hate Israel and to hate Jews, like Candace Owens, who on July 30th referred to Israel as that demonic nation and called Benjamin Netanyahu a literal demon. Not the words of an objective political observer. And by the way, we should just point out that according to sources in position to know, Charlie Kirk was in discussions to open a Turning Point USA office in Israel, and his forthcoming book, which will be out in early December, is titled Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life. Yes, Charlie and Erica Kirk kept Shabbat. Does that sound like somebody who was turning on Israel? Certainly the Sanhedrin in Israel didn't think so. The reconstructed Sanhedrin issued a declaration mourning the death of Charlie Kirk. Quote, the court grieves over the murder of Charles Kirk, who was an extraordinary and exceptional great supporter of the people of Israel. Item number 4 today, Pam Bondi, another misstep for President Trump's attorney general following the assassination of Charlie Kirk last week. Terrible human beings that posted a lot of vile things celebrating his death instead of just saying, I'm sorry for your loss, and then letting their political opponents grieve. But here's the thing. In the United States, the First Amendment guarantees those vile people the right to say vile things. That's called free speech. Now, it doesn't insulate them from consequences if their employer doesn't want their particular business or brand associated with somebody saying or posting vile things, or that person being responsible for teaching and guiding young children in an education setting. Okay, that's why we've seen so many people lose their jobs over the past week. But still, the government should not be in the business of policing that kind of speech. And yet, Pam Bondi said on a podcast Monday that the Justice Department would, quote, absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, end quote. Whoa, hold on. That's a jump backwards to the days when Democrats were using hate speech, which is in the eye of the beholder, as reasons to target, bakers for refusing to bake a 2S LGBTQI++ wedding cake. We don't want to go back there. So Attorney General Bondi is trying to clarify her words, and prominent conservative voices like Matt Walsh calling for her to step down. Following her massive fumble with the rollout of the Epstein files, which turned out to be a lot of nothing, which was not what she promised, Pam Bondi has got to be on very thin ice. Item number 3 today, Democratic meltdown. Progressives in the Democratic Party getting impatient with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Why? Because he has yet to endorse Zohran Mamdani for the New York City mayoral race. He is the Democratic nominee. One progressive House Democrat, speaking on the condition of anonymity, said that the issue has real potential to strain Jeffries' relations with progressive members in the Democratic Party. But Mamdani is a problem for establishment Democrats. He is a Democratic socialist, by his own words. He has been very critical of Israel, and there's still a lot of Jews that vote Democrat in New York City. And he has proposed free city buses, government-run grocery stores, and a rent freeze on rent-stabilized apartments. In other words, a socialist paradise, which has never worked anywhere it's ever been tried. So some in the establishment have embraced him anyway, like New York Governor Kathy Hochul. It's going to be interesting to see what happens between now and November, how Democrats walk this tightrope, because he is their nominee, but I think a lot of them realize he's got some very problematic policies, and it will be interesting to see for those who do endorse him, like Governor Hochul, how they walk that back if Mamdani is elected mayor, as could very well happen if New York City implodes. Item number 2 today, the Belt and Road. It's been severed at the border between Poland and Belarus. This is a big deal. Poland is refusing to reopen its border with Belarus after those war games with Russian and Belarusian soldiers. Why does China care? Because this is about a 25 billion euro per year trade route, and Poland has now cut it off. No trains crossing from Belarus into Poland. 90% of rail freight between China and the European Union moves through Poland, and that is now frozen after these military drills and, of course, the Russian drone incursion into Poland. China has asked Poland to restore the trade route, which is vital for e-commerce giants like Temu and Shein. But after 3 hours of talks on Wednesday, Foreign Minister Sikorski of Poland said no. Sea routes for the trade available, but much slower. Air transport up to 30% more expensive. This is a big deal. The e-commerce link between Europe and China is now risking serious disruption. And kudos to Poland and Foreign Minister Sikorski for being totally based. Coming up, Ben & Jerry's looking at a potential name change? I will explain next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you that Skywatch TV is a viewer-supported ministry, and right now your support helps us not only stay on the air, but also continue the mission through our networks and digital platform, reach areas of the world with the gospel message of Jesus Christ that are unable to financially support us. When you order the new book, Golgotha's Groaning, packed with stunningly unique biblical disclosures from Genesis to Revelation that will shake the end times world, we will send it to you as our gift for your donation of $25 or more. Now that includes free shipping to all U.S. addresses. So again, for your donation of only $25 or more, you'll receive Golgotha's Groaning with free shipping, and you'll be helping Skywatch TV continue reaching the world with the gospel. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for Golgotha's Groaning right now.
Item number 1 today, Ben & Jerry's no more? Well, apparently because Jerry is quitting. Jerry Greenfield, co-founder of Ben & Jerry's, has resigned because the company that they sold to back in 2000, 25 years ago, Unilever, doesn't want them to be woke anymore. It's like, look, just make ice cream. Stop trying to get your ice cream involved in the Israeli-Arab conflict and things like this. According to his resignation letter, quote, "It is with a broken heart I've decided I can no longer in good conscience and after 47 years remain an employee of Ben & Jerry's. I am resigning from the company Ben and I started back in 1978. This is one of the hardest and most painful decisions I've ever made." And it goes on. It's rather lengthy, but bottom line is they want to be activists more than just ice cream salesmen. In fact, Ben & Jerry tried to buy the company back from Unilever earlier this year. Unilever didn't want to sell, so Jerry is saying goodbye, and Unilever has started a new ice cream brand called the Magnum Ice Cream Company to kind of hedge its bets, just in case people don't want to buy Ben & Jerry's anymore because of their wokeness. This week in Skywatch TV, we talk about the Bible and how Golgotha, the place where Jesus was crucified, Calvary, is encoded in the very Hebrew lettering that begins with Genesis 1, verse 1. Pastor Carl Gallup's his new book, Golgotha's Groaning, it makes you realize that the Bible could not have been created by human minds. It was supernaturally inspired. And that is exciting. So you can watch the program right now at skywatchtv.com. You'll always find our video content there. You'll also catch it over the air. Our broadcast schedule posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Now, you can make us broadcast on your schedule. We will hop to whenever you hit the remote. You just have to add the Skywatch TV channel to your set-top box or smart TV, whether it's Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Android TV. Go to their app store, add that to your set-top box or smart TV, and we'll be ready to go when you are. We're on the internet as well, youtube.com/@SkywatchTelevision. Please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit the like button, rumble.com/SkywatchTV, or add our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet. We have versions for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire devices, and links to those app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Just about a month away from heading to Israel. In fact, October 19th is when Sharon and I will be landing in Tel Aviv, God willing, and we'll be there through the 30th of October, and there's still time for you to join us if you are so inclined. You can take a look at the itinerary. We have planned some new locations there in addition to the places you want to see, the key battlegrounds in this long supernatural war that ends at Jerusalem. Har Moed, Armageddon, that's the Mount of Assembly, the Temple Mount, and we will be there in just over a month. More information and a place to register at gilberthouse.org/travel, gilberthouse.org/travel. Follow 5 in 10 online. We're at YouTube at 5 in 10. If you would, please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, like button, leave your comments below, and you can follow us on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.